Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.
There is Lee Oswald. He's been shot. He's been shot. Lee Oswald has been shot.
It's one small step for man.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
Welcome to the Howdy Boomer Show on the YouTube channel. This is a daily broadcast by baby boomers for baby boomers. Join the Peanut Gallery, become an official member of howdyboomy.com, where there's great gifts and ideas for the baby boomer generation. And we're going to be talking daily about things that affect everyday life. Like, we're going to be driving gas cars rather than worried about charging someplace to take half of our life getting there. We're going to be cooking with gas rather than whatever the woke generation wants us to cook with. We're going to be worried about climate change, but unlike John Kerry, who looks like the love child between Secretariat and Jerry Seinfeld, we're going to be letting Mother Nature take care of that. We're going to go back to the days when the good guys were the cops, the bad guys were the criminals. We're going back to the days when if you were born with a penis, you were a male. If you were born with a vagina, you were a female. Every day we're going to be broadcasting ideas that's going to help make America great again. And we're going to be bringing everybody to the forefront to remember what made this country great. In the days of the old laughing, every day we're going to sock it to them.
Sock it to me?
Welcome to the Howdy Boomy Show. Today is May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo. So have a taco, a shot of tequila, something to celebrate the Mexican heritage that helped make our country great. I saw where today's headlines, Kamala Harris was named as the official overseer of maintaining the government surveillance of artificial intelligence that everybody is talking about now, that I'm not exactly sure what that is. It's making computers do work that men do, women do, but the men and women input the information, so it's going to be interesting. But I always have to laugh when you mention Kamala Harris and the word intelligence in the same sentence, because that should never happen. She is the overseer of our borders, and we see how much good that is happening. I think if we had an office of giggles, I think she would be the perfect person, because she can giggle like nobody else giggles, and that's her claim to fame. I saw where a deputy secretary of, I don't know if it's energy or environment, was going for confirmation before the Senate committee, and Senator Kennedy asked him, "You want us to spend $50 trillion to combat global warming via clean energy, whatever you want to do. Can you please tell us, after we spend the $50 trillion, which is not my money, it's not your money, it's the American taxpayers' money, after we spend $50 trillion, how much would the temperature be reduced worldwide that we could consider it a success?" Guess what? He got no answer. Nobody knows. I go back to 30 years ago, 40 years ago, whenever we were told that it's going to be the destruction of the planet because there's a hole in the ozone layer. Remember the hole in the ozone layer? What happened to that? Just amazing to me, the alarmists, what they can conjure up to come up with ways to separate the American taxpayer from their money. If you work for a living, you're screwed, because they're coming up with all these plans, all these programs to help people who aren't working so they could vote for them to keep on getting money when they aren't working. It's just insane. I just don't understand what Lyndon Johnson started back in the days of the Great Society, but it's come now until crazy endings. I know the National Football League is now an immense political and great dynasty as far as money goes, as far as financial goes, as far as the American psyche goes. There's nothing like professional football. Now, if you're on an operating table and you're having an operation, you want the best possible candidate, the best possible doctor, the best possible surgeon you could have. This goes without anything. The best accountant, the best lawyer. You just want to have the best. You don't care what color he is, what race he is, what religion he is. You just want to make sure that you have the best possible person. When you are an employer and you have a position open, you want the best possible person to take that position. Now, unlike real life, in the National Football League, at the end of your tenure, which is a game, there's a scoreboard which shows you whether you win or whether you lose. In life, it's not that simple, but there's a scoreboard. Now, years ago, maybe a decade, 2 decades ago, the National Football League noticed that there were not enough black head coaches. So what they did is they installed a rule to make sure that in the hiring process, African Americans, black Americans were interviewed for head coaching positions before that decision was made on who you're going to choose. And I have nothing wrong with that. But they've taken it to extremes now where their black community is screaming that there aren't enough black coaches because of discrimination. And as I go back to take a look at the results, as I said, there is a scoreboard. Whether you win or whether you lose, it's there. And I'm just wondering, I'm taking a look, they called it the Rooney Rule. Now, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers now is Mike Tomlin. And if you take a look at his record, it's mediocre. If you take a look at the talent that he had for the last decade, 12 years, whatever, and the type of competition he played within his division, the Cleveland Browns, the Baltimore Ravens, the Cincinnati Bengals. During that period when he had Ben Roethlisberger as a rookie on out, his division sucked. They were terrible. And yet his record is mediocre at best. At best. But you have a rule named the Rooney Rule. And how can you fire a black head coach when the rule that is instituted by the National Football League has your name on it? Now, I hope Mike Tomlin keeps on going on. He seems like a great individual, but as far as winning and losing, not that well. They also hired, I think, Todd Bowles as their defensive coordinator, who was dismissed from the Miami Dolphins, basically because his record sucked. But he sued them for discrimination. Of course, when all else fails, play the race card. So now I'm wondering, Mike Tomlin retires. It's named the Rooney Rule. Will the Pittsburgh Steelers ever have a white head coach? I doubt it. You wait to see what happens if they hire a white head coach and the black community starts up an uproar. It's going to be interesting. All this equality just by racism is terrible. You hire the best person for the job. I don't care what color you are. You hire the best person. And if the black community is upset, as I said in an earlier podcast, everything begins at the kitchen table. Make your kids go to school. Make them succeed. The more in the employment pool that are highly regarded, that are educated, the better off you're going to be. It starts at the kitchen table. Don't blame everybody else around you. Acknowledge the problem. Solve the problem. It all starts at the kitchen table. Environmental control, crazy. Kamala Harris, intelligence, crazy. Hiring someone just because of their color, crazy. It's that kind of world right now. I hope you have a great Cinco de Mayo day. I hope things are going well for you. I hope you have a great weekend. We'll be seeing you soon. We're going to make America great again. Oh, I saw where James Comer, when they had this bombshell FBI whistleblower that said he's got information that when Biden was vice president of the United States, he and his family were involved in a bribery scheme, an influence peddling scheme. And James Comer knows who the country was that was doing it and what the favor was. You think we'll see that on the front page of the newspaper? Maybe. Maybe as the Washington Post did it, or the Washington Times, whatever Woodward and Bernstein were, once they turn on you, they'll get you. And if they ever start turning on Biden, which I doubt, but if they ever start turning on Biden, it's going to be interesting what happens to this administration when the truth finally comes out. God bless you. God bless America.
Time frame, images of a generation. We grew up in a simpler time. We sang.
Say, kid, what time is it?
NYC,
We laughed.
Hello, boy.
I can't believe I ate that whole thing.
We cried.
President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
He's been shot. Lee Oswald has been shot.
We fought. We loved. We were attacked.
Japanese have attacked Pearl Harbor, Hawaii by air.
Our flag was still there. Now these memories come to life on posters that can be yours today. Go to howdyboomy.com for your copies today. That's howdyboomy.com. howdyboomy.com.